That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Brian O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Humberto Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
Hey there, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin With Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't done it yet, we'd love it if you subscribe. Really, if you could hit that little bell right there, then you'll be told every single time we put out a new interview, or we put up a video, or I could come over and wash your car. Anytime I'm available, you'll get notified if you push the bell. That's what's going to happen. As far as you know, I'm telling the truth. We are here at I Love Books in Jacksonville, Florida, sponsored by the Florida Writers Association, and we are hanging with author Carrie Pack, the author of In the Present Tense.
Yes.
That would be now.
It would be.
She's the author of this moment in your life. Really? Present tense.
Except the book mainly takes place 2 years from now.
She's the author of this moment 2 years from now in your life. Maybe. I don't
Possibly.
know. We're going to find out in a minute. Tell me about present tense.
So actually, this is my book from a couple years ago, and I wanted to talk about it because I have the sequel coming out in August. And
you have a book that doesn't take place for 2 years, and you have a sequel already.
I know.
She's got your whole life mapped out. You need these books to know where you're going to happen.
Exactly.
See?
Know what's going to save us from this dystopian hellscape.
This is She doesn't like your future very much. We had a psychic on here earlier. He was saying good things were going to happen to you.
Oh, I'd trust the psychic then. I just make up imaginary worlds.
Okay, so what inspired this?
So actually what inspired this was, I've always had this kind of, my own primal fear of being institutionalized for mental illness. You've seen all the old movies where...
That's a primal fear?
Yeah, it's like, can you imagine where you're, like if you ever watched how they took...
All of the creative writers in the room just got really scared.
Right.
Because they have the same primal fear.
But I think like if you look at how the history of mental health, especially in the United States, and these old institutions where people would just be strapped to beds for their entire lives. Like, they're crazy. She reads novels, let's put her in an institution. And so that kind of fear combined with the fact that I have mental illness in my family and myself, and I looked at it like, how would time travel manifest itself if it were related to mental illness? And so the main characters in my books have mental illnesses that allow them to time travel. So rather than say like a disorder like dissociative identity disorder, which people have alternate personalities, instead of switching to an alternate personality, he time travels.
Just bounce around time.
Just bounces around time in his own timeline.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a limitation to his bouncing.
Correct.
In his own timeline.
Right.
Into himself.
Into his own body. Yep.
Okay. So he can be him now or him then.
Right. Or 2 years from now.
Okay.
20 years from now.
Okay, and havoc ensues because that's a writer's journey.
Well, yes, of course. You have to have some havoc or no one will read it.
Yes.
So, havoc, lots of it.
Lots.
I always say it's like the time travel.
You threw mental illness and time travel in the same one. That is a recipe for havoc.
Well, I always say it kind of is like the time traveler's wife meets the X-Files, because you have the time travel and the romance aspect of it, but also there's the, conspiracy and the intrigue of that.
How long have you been off your meds?
Not long.
Not long? Not long. How long did it take you to write this?
The first book was probably from start to finish about a year.
About a year?
The sequel I wrote in about 6 weeks.
I hate her. 6 weeks. I'm 6 months into like 5 chapters of my next book, so wow. You have my respect. That's amazing. So, and there's another one coming.
There is.
Another one.
And I don't have a copy of that, but it is called Past Imperfect.
Do that again?
Past Imperfect.
Past Imperfect.
Yes.
Okay.
And it literally picks up where the first book leaves off. And I don't want to give away too much because the first one it ends with kind of a little bit of a cliffhanger, but basically it picks up where the characters are trying to escape their situation and learn how to control their time travel and deal with the crazy things going on in their personal lives.
The consequence of their mental illness is time travel.
Mm-hmm.
did you choose a particular mental illness to work with, or did you just make up your own time travel illness?
Well, I wanted to be respectful. There are people in this world, very real people, who have very real mental illnesses. There are people with dissociative identity disorder and other dissociative disorders, and I did not want to be harmful
Cavalier.
or cruel. Right,
Yeah.
I did not. So I did a lot of research on that.
Okay.
And my second book has a character, her time travel manifests because of her schizophrenia. And schizophrenia is a psychotic disorder where you experience psychotic episodes. And so actually for book 2, I actually had 2
See, I can
editors
actually-
who have psychotic episodes.
I see a psychotic episode as being of lending itself to the time travel in the first place.
Right.
Because for many it is.
Well, and there's always
You're
the
here, and when you're here, and this in between is fantasy and illness.
And there's always the question of whether or not that what that person is experiencing is real. Like, what is reality? And the psychosis in particular is very much what is reality. That person deals with that every day. And what I'm hearing and seeing real? Is everyone else seeing this, or is it my mental illness that's causing this? So for both of these mental illnesses, for dissociative disorders and for psychotic episodes, both of those things, those people struggle with reality, whether or not what they're experiencing is real. So it lends itself very easily to a mystery of, is this just how their mental illness manifests, or are they really time traveling?
Is this your first book?
No, this is my second and fourth book.
Second and fourth.
Yeah.
She just got done telling you all about dissociativeness.
I swear I'm not time traveling.
Second and fourth book.
It took me 2 years to get to that 6-week writing period, you know?
No. How is it your second? How is it your fourth? We got to ask.
Well, my first book was a romantic comedy, and that came out in 2014 called Designs on You.
Okay.
And then I wrote in the present tense.
Okay.
And I intended it for just to be one book, and then it ends on not a cliffhanger really, but kind of some loose ends, not tied up.
Well, you know, what's great is whether or not the reader sees a loose end as a loose end.
Right.
As the writer, you got to that point, your story was over, you were done, but there was something teasing you, and you had to go, and you had to do more.
There was a
right?
secondary character I really wanted to explore, and that's she has a focus in the second book, in Past Imperfect, that she doesn't in the present tense.
Okay.
And then my third book was a young adult title, Girls on the Side, that takes place during the 90s Riot Girl movement.
Okay.
So I just had a lot of fun with kind of reliving my own youth and
this
making
is
it cooler.
This is the first in what will be a series. At least there's 2.
Yeah, that's all that's going to be in that series. It's a duology. I can't time travel anymore.
That's what she says now, but let's face it. That's your second and her fourth.
If I can go back in time, maybe I'll add some more.
Leave that there for a second. See what she did there? Okay.
So you should cut it right now, and then I can time travel.
You just whoop, boom. Okay. Are you kidding? Oh. She wants me to ask the girl who's writing about mental illness, time travel, and do you personally have any writing rituals or sort of habits while you're writing?
Yeah, I sit down at the keyboard and then promptly surf Twitter for 3 hours.
That's everybody here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Writing is what we do when social media doesn't bother us.
That's right.
Which is sometimes. I won't say all the time.
No.
Sometimes.
I don't, and I probably should, because then I would write more consistently.
How often do you sit down and dive into it? Not Twitter, the writing part.
Not every few weeks.
Every few weeks? Okay.
But when I do really get on a roll, I get on a roll, and I can write,
Just
10, 20,000 words well, over 6 weeks I wrote a 70,000 word novel. So, I mean, I can do it when I get
you're
there.
driven.
But I think if I were more disciplined, I would probably write more. I probably have more than 4 books out, if I did that.
The most important thing that you do is you take a story and you tell a story, because we are storytellers. The human being has been telling stories around the campfire.
Right.
And whether you're sitting under a reading lamp reading, or watching your television, or listening to an old radio show, we have been telling stories as long as we've been around.
Yep.
And that's the important part. War and Peace took 15 years. Smaller novels have taken smaller gaps, but sometimes in the years and multi-years. George Martin will never finish, ever, I'm convinced, no matter how much we beg. So, you know, the important thing is that you finish, you write,
Yeah.
you tell your stories. So that's fantastic. What's coming next?
Well, Past Imperfect comes out in August.
Okay.
I want to write, I don't want to give away too much because someone's going to steal my wonderful ideas because they're amazing. But I want to write another YA book, and I think I want to do something with witchcraft. Just because
you can't give crazy people magic powers.
Well, no, it's different people.
Oh yeah, you gotta get different people.
Yeah, no,
this
will be different people. I don't want to.
That is
I don't want
not
time.
gonna work
I do
out.
not want to deal with time travel and magic in the same series.
No. That's.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave that to our friend J.K. Rowling. She had that down. I'm gonna sit over here and not make millions and
Well, you know.
and just
We are artists and creators, and we know that ramen noodles are 9 cents a bag, and we're going strong. With every royalty check, we can get another bag.
You aren't kidding.
We have to wrap it up. Otherwise, we'll sit here and laugh all night long. As we wrap it up, we want to say thank you to our fantastic partners at Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, Space Coast Comics, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason, Famous Faces and Funnies, and Something Unique Magazine. These are the people who share our videos all over the World Wide Web. We hope that you'll be one of them. Share this video, like this video, leave a comment down below. All that like internet, social media stuff. Do all of that stuff. And remember, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.